our overall kick drum. So it's going to bring in kick number 1, and then kick clubby, and then finally our hard kick. And then for our hats, I'm going to bring in closed hat 1, this is CH1, and then open hat 1. And then I'm going to bring in our clap. And then we're going to finish it off with this tribal.wav. Okay, so these 3 kicks here, the first one, we're just going to be isolating the click from the start of it. The second one, we're using it to get the sort of distortion sound out of the mid-range from that, and this sort of lower end body. And then we've got this hard kick, which is going to give us the main body of the kick drum. So I'm just going to set up the audio tracks for this drum track to begin with. So if I add in 1, 2, I'm going to keep these 3 kicks on the same track, and then I'm going to add in 4 audio tracks here. So Apple T or Command and T on a Mac will add those for you, and I think it's Control and T on a PC. So I'm just going to rename this one closed hat, and then open hat, and then clap, and then our final one is our tribal sample. And then in order to send the audio from these, we need to just go to each track, and if you go to the audio from section at the bottom, if you can't see it, you need to turn on this IO parameter down at the bottom right here. And then if we click on our audio from, click on our drums, and then go to the second menu, we can now select our closed hat. And then if we do the same for the rest of these, select the open hat, and then select our clap, and then finally our tribal sample. And then we need to turn the monitor in on those 4 channels. So if we play this clap sound, we'll get a signal on our closed hat. Play the open hat, we'll get one on our open hat. And our kick drums, because there's 3 of them, all 3 of them are going to come through on this drum track here. So we can actually just rename this one kick. And then if we just shift and click over all of these, and right click and group them, and then rename this group drums. And now we can easily hide or show that track. So we're going to make a simple 1-bar loop here, and we're going to put all 3 of our kick drums. So we're going to put 4 kick drums into our 1-bar loop on each beat of the bar. And if we just bring down the volume of this kick track, and then just hit play on that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is up the tempo here. Tech Trance is usually quite fast, so we're going to set it to about 140 BPM. And then we're just going to go in and edit our kick drums here. So as I said, this first kick drum, we want to isolate that first initial click from it. So we're just going to bring down the decay time. I'm going to set it to about 500 milliseconds. And we'll just bring the volume back on that slightly as well. So we're just getting that first click. Okay, the second kick drum here, we just want this sort of main body and distortion from it. So I'm going to get rid of the start of it. So we'll move the start point to about 5 milliseconds. We'll hit the soft control. That'll remove even more of the click for us. I think we'll just bring the volume back on it as well. And then this final kick here, we just want the main body from it. We don't want that sort of end distortion to it. So just want to shorten that decay time a bit. Okay, that sounds perfect now. And if we just go into this and sequence in our closed hat now, so just going to put it in between each kick drum. Okay, so we're just going to remove all of the low end from this one at quite a high pass kick or a high pass closed hat for this. So if we go to closed hat, and select our filter, set it to high pass, and we'll just bring the filter back. And we're just going to set it to about 5 kilohertz. And then if we go to our closed hat track, I'm just going to pan this a wee bit. You can put it wherever you want. I'm going to send it just to the left hand side. And then I'm just going to bring the volume back slightly. And then if we go back into our kick loop here, our MIDI clip, I'm just going to put an open hat in between each kick drum as well. I'm just going to bring the volume back on this. Okay, and I'm just going to also do a high pass on this, just to remove the low end, just to leave space for our kicks. So, I'm going to set about 200 hertz. And I'm also going to turn on this trigger button. I'm going to change it to gate, and I'll show you the purpose of that in a second. So we'll bring down this decay time. I'm going to set it to about 360. With this gate control on, what it means is we can actually control the length of the sample that's playing using our MIDI data, instead of having to automate the decay time. So if I extended this, you'll hear that the sample is actually playing longer. So we go back into this, it's going to add a wee bit of distortion to it. So if I turn on the saturation, turn that up slightly, and then I'm going to bring the volume right back on this track. And if I just go into the actual open hat audio track, I'm going to add a bit of EQ to the upper end of that, just to brighten it up. So if we go to an EQ8, drop it onto the open hat track, and then I'm going to select the fourth one here, and I'm going to turn on the high shelf, which will give a boost in the upper quad, or in the upper range of the frequency. I'm just going to do a bit of 5 dB boost. This just controls the actual curve on that high shelf. I'm just going to set it to about 5 dB at around 5 kilohertz. And then I'm going to bring the volume back again. So I think about minus 25 dB or so, just to keep it quite subtle. And then if we go back into our MIDI clip, I'm just going to put our clap sample. And again, I'm going to do a high pass on this, just to again leave room for our kick drum. So I'm going to bypass or high pass that at about 200 hertz. And then I'm going to turn this gate control on as well and bring the decay time back. I'm going to use this transpose control here, and I'm just going to move it up a semitone, just to make it a wee bit more snappy. Just change the pitch of it slightly. And then I'm going to leave that around 12 dB or so. Okay, so that is our kicks, our open hat, our closed hat, and our clap all put in there. In the next tutorial, we're going to be going through the tribal sample and adding a bit of reverb and